Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me. I have a handful of products that are newer to the market that I've been trying out, so I want to demo them for you and I want to give you my full review. If that sounds good, be sure to stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Megan. I do a lot of project pan, shop my stash, get ready with me kind of content. So if that sounds like something you like, consider subscribing. And right now, if you could, go ahead, go down and smash that like button. It really does help my channel. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump on into the video. Okay, so my eyes are primed, and I'm not going to use something new to the market or to me. I'm going to use the Half Magic Sparkle Stick in the shade the Dreamies. It's the purple one. I'm just going to be using a different application method today that I have not tried before, which might be a little brave since we're going to be going out and doing something, but alas, I am going to just take this all over my lid like this. Usually I use these for like lower lash line or an inner corner moment. I've never used them all over the lid, but they're budge proof on the inner corners and lash lines, so I'm not really concerned about them moving. I just like wasn't really sure how they would stand on their own and how they would like blend out. And I'm like, I don't know. I want like a really light ethereal look, but I also want it to like pop. I'm wearing my well, I'm wearing all black, but then I'm gonna wear my purple docs as like my colorful statement piece, and I want that to tie in with my eyeshadow. First of all, this is going on really, really nicely. Like, I'm not having any issues. It's actually, where's my mirror? So yeah, it's going on really easily. It doesn't look like it's like bunching up or patchy or unblended, which is nice since I'm obviously not really doing a lot of blending. I'm just like lightly taking it over those areas, and then I am blending a little bit with this brush on like the outer portions. But yeah, this is looking really pretty. I usually steer away from shadow sticks because they just are so patchy and like hard to work with, you know? But I think maybe because this is so ethereal, I'm not having that issue. Actually, this looks so pretty. Like, it is so sparkly on this end. I love these. They were actually half off during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and I was so jealous because I have 5 of them, and they're all the shades that I want, but I was like, darn, if only I would have got them for half off. But I highly recommend this formula. It looks beautiful right now. I don't anticipate it moving or anything because, like I said, this is so budge proof in other areas that I really just can't imagine me having problems with longevity. But if I do, I'll pop it in the description box. But yeah, this is so pretty. Ooh, exciting. All right, I went ahead and popped on my corrector, let everything dry down. For the next step, this is a new product. It's the Caliray So Blown Blurring Primer with Collagen Peptides. This is one that I have been using, so I can attest to my thoughts. I think it does an amazing job. I'm actually very impressed with it. The texture is interesting. It's like this milky but thick situation, and I'll just do one side first so you can see, hopefully anyways, the difference between like this side and this side. If you can't, I'm gonna blame that on lighting because in person, like, it has completely blurred this out. Makeup lays really nicely over this. I haven't experienced any pilling or anything like that. It does have a scent. It's very like citrusy though. So I don't really mind it, and my face hasn't had a reaction to it, thankfully. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this one. If you're looking for a pore blurring slash filling primer, I do think this is a nice one. I think it might end up in the top 2. I really love the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. That one's my favorite. And I think that this one could actually be like a pretty close contender depending on, you know, what you're looking for in terms of price point. But yeah, this just blurs so beautifully and lays so nicely under my makeup. I love it. Okay, next up is foundation. And if you remember in a Shop My Stash, I mentioned that I got the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour skin tint. And I have the shade 110, which seems to be really good for me right now. I do hate the stopper situation because look how messy the stopper is. Because, like, obviously I have not used a ton of the product yet. So it's, like, all over the stopper. So what I do is I literally just wipe it on my face. Like this. Which is, like, annoying, but it is what it is. I really didn't even think about that when I got it. But in my opinion, it would be something that would keep me from purchasing it in the future if it's like not heavily discounted, because this is like, I think like a $17 foundation, and that's already a high price point for drugstore in my opinion. So to also have that kind of an applicator, like, absolutely not. But formula wise, I have noticed with this product, less is more. And you might be thinking, girl, you just put so much on your face. Not really. It's like really thin consistency, and it looks like more because of how I applied it with that applicator. But it's also like a skin tint, so I need a little bit more to get the desired coverage I want, which this is very buildable, and I do like that in a product. What I will say though, like if you do, I would do like a thinner application first, which is what I do, and then go in and build up if you want, because if you go in with like too much product initially, it does have a tendency to like look a skosh cakey. I also highly recommend using a pore filling primer if you're someone who has like larger pores, because like for a while I wasn't really using a pore filling primer just because I was being lazy, and I felt like with a lot of my foundations I wasn't really like needing it per se. But with this one I do, because if I don't use the pore blurring slash filling primer, the product sinks right into those. So if you're not someone who normally uses that and wouldn't want to add an additional step, then this might not be it for you. But I already do that like most of the time. I just kind of took a break from it, so I don't really mind. And I will say this is pretty long lasting. I do use like, you know, setting spray and powder and all that, and I can get a full day of wear out of it. It does dry down to a more like matte finish, so that is something to keep in mind as well. It like when it goes on, it looks like kind of glowy, but it dries down matte. Overall, I do think it's like a really pretty foundation, really beautiful. I do really like it. It's something that I will definitely use up. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know I had mentioned it, but I think it is a really solid one. But again, like, I would just wait for a sale because $17 for a drugstore product is just crazy. Next up is concealer, and it's not necessarily a new product, but it's an elaboration on a review that I gave you guys. I'm just going in with a little bit of my Pacifica concealer on the inside since it's lighter. And then the product that we're circling back to is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. This is a newer product. I did give you guys a review on this, and the thing I wanted to elaborate on is that this is also really great for if you're someone who doesn't want to set your under eyes or doesn't set your under eyes. I almost feel like this looks better when I don't set my under eyes, which is just like crazy. I never thought I would say that. But so that's why I wanted to talk about it again, to elaborate and let you guys know that like this holds up well without setting. Because I know a lot of people don't want to have to do that or don't like that step. And I especially think if you're someone who normally doesn't even have to set under like your under eyes, then this will be even more amazing, because I'm someone who has to set my under eyes, and with this, like, I don't need to. Like, it holds up really well, which is just impressive and really exciting. I don't have a new bronzer, so I'm going to do that off camera really quick. Okay, so I know the lighting is a little bit different, but I was using natural lighting and it's getting dark out, so I just thought this would be helpful. Next up for blush, I have the new Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blush. This one is in the shade Hope. It's described as a bouncy texture. I would compare it to the MAC Glow Play blushes, except for this one is much more pigmented, which kind of checks with Selena's makeup. But I've been using this and I'm happy to report I love it. It's actually unexpected. I literally just start with like 2 little taps and then go in, because like her other products, it is pigmented, and I'm kind of surprised that I love it, because if you've been around, I've low-key been a Rare Beauty makeup hater. Like, I think for the most part, a lot of the stuff I've tried from her line is just so overhyped and like not good. So when I tried this and I was like, oh my gosh, I was pleasantly surprised. I did get this in exchange for a review from Skeepers, but I also got the liquid contour and I ripped that to shit. So do with that what you will. But this just applies beautifully, blends beautifully, lasts all day long. It looked great after like a 12-hour day. It still looked fabulous. The finish does like dry down matte. It is just so pretty, so easy to work with, and so long lasting. This is a product that I think is really good, especially if you're someone who typically wears powdered products and you're looking to start getting into cream. I think the cream to powder formulas are a good gateway into that kind of realm. I also think if you're someone who likes creams, you will love this. I love a cream to powder formula. I just think, gosh, this looks so stinking beautiful on the skin. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I'm also using the Rare Beauty brush. It's like a stippled one. And I got one for the liquid contour and one for this. And I've been loving these brushes, which I've always been a Rare Beauty brush lover. I have their foundation brushes. Gosh, have you guys been here since the contour brush days? That was like my friggin' staple when I started my Instagram account over in like I started in 2019, but in 2020, like that brush was the it girl. It's all I talked about. And like I have the powder brush, like their brushes are so good. I feel like no one really talks about them, but they have great brushes. I don't really have anything else until a mascara and setting spray. So I'm going to kind of finish up everything else and then I'll jump back to you for those last 2 products. All right, my lashes are curled, so I'm going to go in with Kofi's new mascara in the shade Black. It's called their Badi Lash. This is supposed to be lengthening, volumizing, easy to take off, all of the things you would want in a mascara. Supposed to be, not flaky, all those things that I feel like we look for when we're shopping for a mascara. And I will say right off the bat, we do get like that lengthening and volumizing quality. What I do want to say is that I want more. So I typically go in with 2 coats of mascara. However, I find with this formula, you need to wait for the first layer to dry all the way. Otherwise, you're gonna get more like flaking on your face throughout the day, and it doesn't volumize as well. So I usually just take like a couple minutes to let this like dry, and then I'll go in with my second coat. I do find that I get a little bit of flaking throughout the day with this formula, but honestly, I feel like that's pretty much every mascara. So I really just want one that if it's going to do it, it better be very minimal. And I feel like this does a very minimal job, especially like I don't like a formula that is like super tubing, which is like what you would get if you don't want any fallout. But I don't like having to remove that. And I'll have to check, but I think this claimed to be a tubing formula. I will place it on the screen if it did or didn't. But I did not find it to be reminiscent of a tubing formula, in my opinion. It removed very easily, which is honestly what I prefer. I don't want to do the whole wash my makeup off and then take it off with just water and tubes later. So I did appreciate that. And I do really like the volume and the length that this gives. I'll show you guys the brush here in a minute. It can get a little clumpy when you layer it, but I kind of like a clumpy lash. If you've been here, you probably know my mascara preferences. Like the Bite Beauty Upswing was literally my favorite. So I don't mind a little bit of clump. It does have like this unique brush where it has like little spoolies on the end there. It's not focusing. But I do really like that for really getting in on that inner portion to like make sure I have all my lashes coated. Also, if you don't like as clumpy of an application, then don't wait for it to fully dry down. If you don't wait for it to dry down, then your second coat won't be this clumpy, but I like the volume. I do like the volume. So like most mascaras, it really comes down to your personal preference and what you like. I really like a dramatic lash because I don't wear like falsies. So I need my mascara to do all the work. So yeah, I personally really like this mascara, but I know this style of mascara is not for everyone. Like I said though, it can be really dimmed down. If you go in with your second coat immediately, then it is not even near this kind of clump or volume situation. Because when I first used it, I did that and I was like, wow, I'm not really getting the volume I want. So I tried that and vavoom, we have what I want. So I do like that there is a little bit of flexibility with this formula. Next up that I'm so excited to chat with you guys about, it is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray. I did get one of these in PR, which is, I'm so excited. I'm not gonna lie, I love Huda Beauty so much, and I was so excited to be on their PR list, and I was so worried that now I haven't been on Instagram that I would no longer be on it. So every time I still get a package, I'm just so grateful. And especially this, because it sounds like something I would like. Essentially, it is the Easy Bake Powder in a liquid form. I was like, girl, what? Like, you guys know how much I love this powder. I've emptied like 3 of them. It's amazing. And so the thought of having that in a setting spray was super intriguing because I feel like lately setting sprays just don't elongate my makeup like they used to. So I've kind of been like, so I was very intrigued to try this. The mister is like so like okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just so excited. I love the packaging. 1. 2, I love how it's set up to right here. You twist it, and then that's when you see the hole. So if you're traveling with it, you can just turn it. I think that's great. The pump is up here to mist it. It says, you know, shake well. So we're going to do that. The mister itself is like powerful, but fine. You don't have to dry it down like that. That's so extra. I'm only doing it because I have the fan. Otherwise, I wouldn't do that. But anyways, it's a super fine but super powerful mister, which honestly I really like. It disperses everything very like evenly, I feel. And the crazy thing is, so I didn't put any powder on my face, you guys. None. Not a lick of powder, which is not like me. But here's why. It's because I was testing this out all week and not applying powder, and my makeup at the end of the day looks better with this setting spray and no powder than it did with powder. Like, I literally was flabbergasted. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. But yeah, my makeup held up so well. I was like, wow, could I imagine a world where I could skip the powder step and just put spray on? Like, how much more low maintenance is that? Very. And I just feel like it gives a really blurring effect. Like, it's just so, it just finishes off the look. Stunning. Stunning. So yeah, I would recommend it. I know everyone's like, I have setting powders. I'm not into them. I'm over it. But this is going to replace your Holy Grail setting spray, period. It's going to replace it. So yeah, you heard it here first. So yeah, I was going to finish getting ready before I did the outro, but like, you've already heard all the thoughts, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big like before you go. And yeah, I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye! Oh, also let me know if you've tried any of these products in the comments. I want to know your thoughts.